Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, the Tanya Takeover, where I am starting a new series called the ATM, Automatically Tanya's Money. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are returning back, thank you for joining me. We are going to be starting a new series regarding everything from finance to credit to building life, building wealth. We're going to be discussing it all because I'm constantly getting questions on, Tanya, how are you able to shop like this? Tanya, you just bought your second home. How are you doing it? Tanya, how did you start your businesses? So in this series, I wanted to just give back, you guys, because I have been there. Tanya has been there, okay? Starting a new business, trying to get business credit, not, paying off student loans. Like, I have been there. And now seeing it on the other side, there's so many things I wish I would have known when I started. And I wish I had somebody to go to and ask these questions to. So that's what the series is about, growing each other, building with each other, becoming better people and more financially secure. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, don't forget to like, comment, and definitely subscribe so we can get started right now. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how to budget and start building wealth. Now, budgeting does not come easy to all people. I get it. I've been there. I am the worst person at budgeting. But I realized when I started budgeting, my bank account went up, my credit went up, and it just all meshed together. So budgeting to me will be creating a new habit or creating a new way of doing things. It's just like starting that diet that you didn't quite stay on. You started good for a week and then you fell off. Or am I just talking about myself? But that happened to me with every diet that I started. I wasn't able to stick to it. I just rushed in. I'm like, okay, it's Sunday, I'm just gonna do it. But budgeting and dieting go hand in hand because technically you're like, constricting the amount of money you spend, like you're constricting the amount of food that you eat. And with most diets, they tell you the best thing to do is to start off slow. Don't just rush into it. Don't just say, I'm gonna be this mad budgeter. I'm gonna start saving $500 a week. At this point, most people don't budget because they feel that they don't have it to budget. Like all their money's being spent. And it's not that all your money is being spent, you're just not watching where you're spending it. You have the money to save. You have the money to do that, to buy that house. You have the money to buy that new car or whatever it is that you want. But you just think that all your money is spent by the end of your paycheck and you don't have it. You come up with this, that, and the third excuse as to why you can't do it. And we need to start working on that. So first things first, start off slow. I would love to tell you guys to start saving $500 a week. But honestly, that's not most people's realm of reality right now. We're going to get there, but we're not there yet. So start slow. Start with it $50 a week, whether it's $25 a week. Just start putting something to the side and start getting yourself there. Because guys, we are on our way to that new house, that new dream car, that new business that we want to start. It's all in your reach. You just gotta, budget yourself and get yourself there. So let's get started with step one. So step one when starting a budget is have a goal. What are you working towards? What is it that you want? What are you aiming for? Are you aiming for that business that you want to start, or that a house you want to buy, that dream house that's 5 bedrooms with a pool in the back and a gym downstairs? What is it that you're working towards? Because I myself, when I was doing it, I was definitely aiming for that house. I really wanted, my own place, my own house, my space. So what are you aiming for? Usually when you have a goal or something that you're aiming towards, it makes it more realistic and makes it that more easier to attain. So have a financial goal set down. Don't just say I want to just save money for an emergency or whatever comes up. Have an idea of what you're saving for, what you're aiming towards, whether it's starting that business or buying that house. What is your goal? Write it down. Write it down. And this comes into play with a vision board. I actually started a vision board for 2020. And I know everybody's probably saying 2020 was a bust, but it's all about how you played your cards. Now, if you played your cards right, 2020 could have been your year, your come up. And I'm telling you guys, 2020 was not a bust for everybody. It's because people had financial goals in mind and they knew exactly what they wanted to do. So it's not too late. What is your goal? Let's write it down. Write down what you're aiming towards, where do you see yourself next year, and how you're gonna get there. The next thing with how to budget and start building wealth is decide how much are you actually bringing in. Like, this is just a duh, like how much am I bringing in? But most people, they don't write down how much they're actually bringing in. How much are you bringing in? Not how much you want to bring in. Not how much, if you did these 3 overtimes, are you going to bring in. How much are you bringing in per month? Write it down. Take a whole month to write down everything that you're bringing in. Whether you have a side hustle from one business, or you're just getting paid from one business, or you have an overnighter and a day. Whatever you're doing to bring in money, whether it's your child support, I don't care what it is. Once you decide how much you're bringing in, you're going to know exactly how much you have to play with, how much you have to spend, and how much you have to save. And guys, if you hopefully have your own business and you are working for yourself, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult. I get it. I worked for myself for years and I had no clue how much I was bringing in. By the time the teachers got paid, rent was paid, the bills were paid, I don't know how much I was bringing in. I was just swiping and whatever. If it went through, it went through. If it didn't, it didn't. I didn't know how much I was bringing in. So I took 1 month to write down everything. All the money I was bringing in, all the payments, everything that was coming in, and how much I had actually to myself that was in my grasp at the end of the month. So make sure if you're working for yourself, keep a record of how much you're bringing in. Because sometimes, say you are an Uber driver and you have this many pickups or rounds that you do, or this many hours that you put in per night or per day. How much are you actually spending out for gas? How much for that oil change you need per month or every 2 months or whatever it is? How much for your car to get serviced, or how much is Easy Pass taking out every time you're taking somebody on and off the bridge? This is what I mean by taking into account how much you're actually bringing in, because this is very important. You could have 7 rides that you did for the day and you made $300, but by the time you deduct everything, you only have $100 left. So once you have a record of exactly how much you're bringing in, you can start knowing where to go and how to build from here. Next is to figure out how much you're actually spending. Now when I'm saying spending, I'm saying that, you know, you worked all week, you made $400, and then you want to go out at night to celebrate, or you're going to that day party, or you're going out with friends to eat, buy that bag that you want, or those shoes you've been eyeing. How much are you actually spending? So make sure that you have that written down, how much you're actually spending on groceries, how much you're spending on rent, how much you're spending on gas, how much you're spending on, you know, going out to eat, so that you have it written down and you know exactly what your budget is. You don't know how much you have until you know how much you make and how much you spend, because that will determine how much you have to save, and saving is key when budgeting. Now I have one tip, okay? So for me, I know I hated it, but I did it for 2 months. I had nothing but cash. When I went to the ATM, I took out cash, straight cash. I had $200 for the week. I wanted to see how much of this I'm gonna spend. And that really helps with budgeting too, because you'd be surprised how much you're swiping and swiping away when you have actual cash in your hand. So that's a good tip. For 2 months, try it. Take out cash out of the ATM. Okay, whether it's $300 for the week, $200 for the week, whatever is in your budget, how much ever you spend, and see how much of that you're actually using. And you'd be surprised, it puts a lot into perspective. Instead of going out with a group of 4 girls and handing them your credit card and whatever happens, happens. If it goes through, it goes through. You know, instead of that, hand them cash, and then you'll see how much it hurts actually spending all that money. And then you'd have an idea of how much you need to go out. Do you need to go out, or can you do like a house party? Can you invite them to your place and have drinks at home? Like, I'm just saying, I'm just giving you some tidbits on the things that I did and I realized that I was spending way too much money on. So try it for 2 months, take out cash out of the ATM and see where you go. See how much you're left with and see how much you're spending, guys. It's a lot. Next tip is to know your expenses. And guys, please believe me, this part is gonna suck. It sucks. Like, why would you give me money if you're just gonna want it back? I really feel that's rude, but it's life. You have to write down your expenses. Now, this is nothing like good old reality to kick you in your head to make you realize that you could be rich if you didn't have to pay everybody else back. So, write down your rent, your PSE&G bill, your phone bill, your fixed expenses. Write down your car payment, your car insurance, I can go on and on. Tuition, student loan, I mean, whatever it is, just write it down so that you have a ballpark and idea of how much your expenses are. And once you have that in your realm, in your foresight, you can know exactly how much you have to save and how much you have to put away and how much you owe people, which sucks. But it's reality, and that's going to help us build wealth, guys, because you don't know how much you have until you know how much you owe. Just sad, but it's true. So write down your expenses, write down everything, take a piece of paper and write it down. What I personally would do is start a whole notebook, fill in the blanks guide to how to build wealth this year. You know, how am I building wealth this year? Just something to keep you focused, something that you have that's in your record. I actually do have a book that I write everything down in, all my bills, all my mortgage payments, all my car insurance, everything. I write it all down so I have it on paper so that I can see it more clearly. Okay, you know, I owe this person this way. Maybe if I paid this off for the year, I can have more money here and pay less on interest. Just things like that that keep me on budget, keeps me focused on my goal and what I want to do with my life and my money. So write it down, no matter how brutal it looks on paper, just write it down so you have an idea as to where to go from here. So now that you have your fixed expenses, write down your variable expenses, such as entertainment, groceries, Netflix, cable, just things that change throughout the month. So you know exactly how much to allocate for, you know, entertaining with your friends or going out to eat with your friends. And guys, don't forget, take it out in cash so you know exactly, you know, okay, I have this $100, I spend $10 on Netflix and I spend $60 to go out to eat with my friends, and maybe I spend how much ever movies are right now, you know, so that you know exactly how much you're spending and what you can afford to cut back on. So do you need to go to the movies? I mean, Netflix is right there. You're already paying for Netflix. Do you need Netflix and a movie? Do you need Netflix and that cable bill? I mean, I'm not saying live like you're broke or you're poor or a pauper. I'm just saying sometimes you got to take 2 steps back to move 10 steps forward. And guys, I'm not saying anything I haven't done or wouldn't do. I'm just giving you the tea on, you know, how you can start building wealth and start living the life that you want. Okay guys, so now for our last and final step is savings. Make sure that you're saving. And guys, I highly suggest that you take it from that variable expense. Just give me $50 out of it. Please, I mean, come on. If you have to go out with your girls, why can't your girls come to your house? Okay, you want drinks? I got drinks. You want food? I got food. You want music? Turn on Alexa, okay? Make sure that you're cutting something out of that variable expense and putting it towards savings. Make sure you're saving, because we're not getting out of this hole we've dug ourselves. We're not getting that mansion. We're not getting that car we want unless we start savings. You should have at least 6 months of savings in your account, and if you don't have it, that's fine. We're gonna start it together. But make sure you're saving $50 out of that variable expense, and then you'll see it gets easier and easier as you go. If you have $50, the next time give me $75. Try that for a month, and then go up to $100. And guys, that is honestly how I was able to save $100,000 in 3 years. I mean, it's not a lot to some people, or it's a lot of money to some people, but that's how I did it, and I'm trying to tell you how to do the same thing. With that money, you are able to open up your business, you're able to buy your house, you're able to just do things and move on from this point. But you need a starting point, and today is that day. So guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you liked the ATM, Automatically Tanya's Money. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you. Bye.